over-explaining is an approval addiction. It's almost like we think context is going to buy us legitimacy. Is it teaches your nervous system that your choices require permission. Fawning is the art of abandoning yourself for someone else's comfort. If I justify myself, you're not going to get mad at me. If I explain it enough, you probably won't leave. Welcome back to Unapologetic Rabble-Rousers. I am DocShellie.
And I'm Carla Lewis. And here's a hard truth. You do not have to explain yourself.
But
No.
I wanna.
And what's going to be fun about this is really looking at, why do we wanna? What is it that we have driving this need to, I don't know, I may be jumping ahead, but the whole notion of fill the silence. So we're going to talk about, why do we find it so compelling to explain ourselves when a simple explanation, here's the truth, like the Reader's Digest headline version of, here it is. Mm-hmm. So let's get into this whole notion of justifying what we're choosing to do, justifying emotions, or trying to explain why this boundary is really important to me and why you shouldn't be messing with it.
Or why I made a choice I made.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this idea that over-explaining is an approval addiction.
That is just, let's hear that one again.
Over-explaining is an approval addiction.
Think about that. It's like, I want to make it okay. I want to make it right. And I think if I overwhelm you with a bunch of words, you're just going to say, okay.
It's almost like we think context is going to buy us legitimacy.
Whoa. Wow.
If I keep talking and I keep explaining, then I become legitimate. They're going to hear me.
Wow, that one just landed like with a big boom. Seriously. And is the legitimacy something that we are trying to demonstrate to someone else or to ourselves?
Yes.
I think the
answer is yes. And it's like we think convincing someone is going to protect us from judgment, mm-hmm. Which, now let's be real here. How many times have you been on the receiving end of somebody who won't shut the hell up because they're trying to prove to you they're right? They're trying to convince you of something. I sit in huge judgment of that. I heard you the first time you said it. You don't need to repeat it 32 different times in the same conversation.
And I have to say that, having had the privilege of working with you for as long as I have.
My God, stop talking.
No, well, actually, I wasn't even thinking about that one, but that was a classic.
It was
no, but you can see it. Michelle, you know where you stand. And when there is that line that has been crossed that says, okay, this is 17th iteration of whatever it was you said that could have been done with that first explanation or sentence, there's a point, there's a veil that drops. And then when it lifts, it's like momentary, but when it lifts, your eyes even get squinty. It's like you're trying to cut through all of this crap and just say, we get it.
Okay. Got it.
And we're so busy. So we are, that justification, the legitimizing of me, my position, something that maybe it goes back to what we talked in the last episode about, I'm trying to take care of your feelings and, that you're not going to be bothered or it's not going to turn into a conflict or whatever. So I'm just going to bowl you over with a whole bunch of words that are all saying the same thing. I'm just uncomfortable saying it.
Right. and you think that's going to protect you from judgment. Like it's think about that for it's really funny to me. Like it's very ironic to me. I have been guilty of it myself, but it's funny if we're doing it for protection of being judged, not liked, whatever it is, you're going to be judged because you're not shutting up. Like it's never going to buy you legitimacy and it's never going to protect you from judgment. What it does do is it teaches your nervous system that your choices require permission.
Whoa. Well, this is getting deep fast.
What is wrong with me today?
I don't know. I would not judge it that way. I would not judge it as wrong of anything today. It's marvelous. And it's also, what we try to do in this whole conversation that we have every week is just cut to the chase on stuff. And that was big.
That was the chase.
No, I think so.
The other thing I'm thinking about, so I'm doing some coaching. I'm doing a group coaching program. I'm not running it. I am a participant. Mm-hmm. And the word fawn and fawning keeps coming up. And I think it came up in a program that we were in a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
So I had to look up what fawning meant because I really wasn't sure what fawning was because I have a very negative connotation for, I'm fawning over you. You're so special. You're so great. Like gushy kind of.
Yeah. And that's not what it is.
No, but here's the definition that I landed on that I liked is fawning. I have to look at a note I put on my computer. I didn't know we were talking about this today. Fawning is the art of abandoning yourself for someone else's comfort.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of deep. That over-explaining is a trauma-informed nervous system strategy. It's telling you if I stay agreeable, I'm going to stay safe. If I justify myself, you're not going to get mad at me. If I explain it enough, you probably won't leave.
Uh-huh.
So if understanding this can remove some of the shame that you might have, and it can bring compassion. It doesn't mean you're needy, but your fawning is protection. I found that really interesting.
The notion that the protection is really trying to keep yourself safe.
Yeah.
And
like you won't, but it's like you won't get mad, you won't leave, and I'll stay safe.
Yeah.
It's weird. Our bodies and our brains are weird.
Really weird. Now, I had heard fawn being, so if we talk about fight, flight, freeze, and fawn, so that's how it's coming up more in the programs and in the things I'm reading and listening to, that fawning is becoming more prevalent in the thing, and that it is a component of freezing. That okay. And if we look at fawning maybe as the blanket that we're wrapping around our freezing activity, which is just, okay, I'm going to make this okay. I'm going to make this okay. I'm not. So it is a really interesting concept, but I like the definition that you brought up.
Thank you. There was I had to do a lot of research. You know me. Got to research shit.
One of the many things we love about you.
Yeah. But yeah, I found that really interesting and how that applies here, that thinking just around that whole over-explaining notion.
Yes. Okay. So in the over-explaining notion, and the fact that what we're trying to do, it's all about safety. Mm-hmm. But what we started with is that it's an approval addiction. Mm-hmm. So does that end up suggesting and might be a BFO here, blinding
For those
flash.
that don't know, BFO is Carla's way of saying blinding flash of the obvious.
That thank you, doctor.
Welcome to my couch.
Yeah, the approval. Oh my gosh, that 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 safety is a big reason for wanting and needing approval. That being in the presence of those who aren't going to attack me and eat me is a mechanism that it's a component of safety. So I am addicted to being safe. And of course, my body's wired to help me do that. But I come up with coping mechanisms for that, which includes something I do all the time, which is use way too many words to explain a simple thing.
Carla, what time is it? Let me tell you how the watch was made.
Sometimes
I'm just kidding.
I just can't help myself.
But I think there's a 3-sentence rule that could help not do so much explaining.
Okay.
Perhaps for the chronic over-explainers, you know who you are. Try this on for size. State whatever it is you need to state. If there's a boundary or action required, state that. And then stop talking. You don't need a backstory. You don't need justification. You don't need to tap dance your way through the conversation. When you provide clarity, because you stated your decision, you've described your boundary or the action that is required. That is all that needs to be said. And then the other person can respond, or they might ask a question. You can engage in a conversation, but you don't need to over-explain a decision or a choice that you have made.
And this gets us into another element, doesn't it? Because yes, the other person can respond, and they could respond in a number of ways. One of the ones that leaves people, I believe, feeling so uncomfortable is silence.
Silence is scary.
And the notion that silence has to be filled. We have seen this, and we've talked about this.
It even plays out all the time.
It does. It does. We talked and joked about it in terms of meetings where you see people who are poised and ready. They are not listening to what the person ahead of them is saying. They are waiting for that person to take a half a freaking breath so that there is a pause that this next person can jump into in order to stake their claim in the grander presence of things in that session. But silence has such value if we let it play out, if we mine the silence for what it can bring.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that you've got a lot to say about that too.
It's funny because when we started talking about this topic and that silence came up, it was like, of course, because people have to fill the silence. It's a classic sales move. Once you have the sale, stop talking. Mm-hmm. Once you have stated your fact, consider that the sale. You don't have to circle it with all this other crap that really undoes yourself. Mm. The more you talk, the more you're undoing yourself. And it's like you're throwing it's like the disclaimer policies that you get for every app you ever download. Do you actually read those 25 pages? No, but that's what you're doing when you're over explaining. Mm. You're downloading a disclaimer. I think silence is a power move. And it's really interesting. I have worked with someone who is incredibly introverted. People tell her all the time she needs to speak up more. I don't see that she needs to speak up more because when she speaks, it is with intent, it is very clear, and it is very poignant. She's not the kind of person that's going to talk for the sake of talking. And yet she gets the feedback, you really should speak more. And she's like, I'll add when I need to add. She's a processor. She's not good on the fly in meetings. I shouldn't say she's not good. She's very good when she wants to be, but it's not her comfort zone. So she will speak up when she needs to and when she wants to. But other people, because they're so used to talking so much themselves, these are the people that always want to have their voice heard. They'll come at you and talk to you for 32 minutes without a freaking breath. And then they wonder why we're silent about stuff. You just said everything that needed to be said. I don't have anything to add. And I know if I ask you a question, you're going to get ticked off and call me difficult, and you won't give me any clarity anyway. So let's just be
What's the
silent
point?
here. But it's very interesting when you think about silence and how, really, for the chronic over explainer, those explanations are only diluting your conviction. It's taking away your power. Whereas silence, I think, is a power move. It signals confidence. It lets your words land. Sometimes people just need to hear what you're saying. Like, no, I need to process the no for a second. I don't need 800 more words with word salad with a side of extra words. I just need to go, oh, I wasn't expecting a no. Cool. Let me figure out who else can do this, wants to do this, wants to go here, wants to, whatever it is.
I think that's the important thing for us to be able to build in as an approach is if there is silence after a statement is made, does not mean that they didn't understand.
Right.
They didn't accept. They didn't. It means that there's a silence that, people can think in silence.
What?
I'm telling you, I've seen it happen. Yeah. But the point is that filling the void, if it brings value and not just filler, then it's a good thing. But I want to focus on the individual that you were just discussing. Mm-hmm. We all have been in groups, family, friends, work, where there are people who are, those internal processors. Mm-hmm. There are people who are external processors. I mean, I think outside. I think as I speak. Mm-hmm. Don't ask me to repeat it because I'm not listening.
Right. but you're so in the moment that you're not really. Here's what I think is what you do is because you process out loud, you haven't thought, ooh, I'm going to say it this way. Oh, no, wait, I'm not going to say it that way. No, I'm going to say it like this. Where people who are processors know exactly what they're going to say. When somebody goes, ooh, can you say that again? They go, yes, because I've thought about it 22 different ways to Sunday. Whereas me and you, I get asked all the time, oh, that was so good. Can you repeat it? Nope. just came into my head and it came out my mouth. Like, nope, I couldn't tell you what I said. So I'll be like, what did I say?
That's right.
I would do that in class all the time. I'd be in a front room of 100 people and I'd say something and somebody would go, oh, that was really good. Can you repeat it?
No, you need to listen the first time around.
Nope, can't repeat it. But so I think there is a difference sometimes in being in the moment and saying stuff versus I've had time to process it and now I can say exactly what I want to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And how often have we, I know I have experienced that those people who are the kind that process it, it's like they can chew on that piece of coal and spit out a diamond. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You just need to give it that extra beat to let it happen. And that comes with respect. That comes with mutual respect. If that is absent, then those people who are sitting there ready to spew a diamond aren't going to be given the chance. And everybody is lesser for that. We need to provide the space for everyone to be able to share what needs to be shared. No more, no less.
No more.
And allow silence to be that generative space that it is so that people can consider. I mean, think about this. If you say, you just use the example, Michelle, somebody's, I wasn't expecting to know. I'm not going to explain. And I'm being silent because now I'm figuring out, okay, what would my next steps be?
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you.
So I am silent because I'm processing. Now, this ends up this ends up opening almost another wormhole, which is, okay, do I have to explain to you why I'm being silent?
Here's the funny thing. I just did this a couple days ago. Mm-hmm. I'd asked somebody if they could do something, and the response was, oh, no. And I was like, Okay, hold on a second. I
Mm-hmm.
was absolutely not expecting a no. And she started laughing and she goes, that was abrupt. And I go, no, it's fine. Not expecting it. We're good. We don't even need to talk about it any further. You can't. It's cool. And she was like, no, I can explain. I'm like, no, I don't need an explanation. You said no,
That's the
that's
other.
enough. And she was like, but I want to explain. I said, why do you feel like you need to explain? And she said, don't you get coachy on me. And I said, no, really think about it. Before you explain, I do not need an explanation. Why do you need to give it to me?
Mm-hmm.
And then she told me to F off and we were done with our conversation.
There you go. Clinked glasses and on it went,
She was
right?
like, oh, yeah, you're right. If you don't need it, why do I need to give it to you? Fair point. But it's like, I wasn't expecting it. Hence the facial expression and the, wait, what? But I was like, just get like, literally put my hand up and was like, don't say anything. Just give me a second here. And I was like, that's cool. I appreciate the transparency. I don't need 800. And it's funny too, because when people start to give me excuses, and I know people do this, they'll make shit up. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't go that night because I have a Christmas party to go to. Bullshit. You don't have a party to go to. You want to stay home and hang out in your pajamas with your cats. That's cool. And then it's like they start to make fabrications of why they can't do something, which
Yeah.
also is incredibly disrespectful. Just say no instead of crafting up some damn excuse that may or may not be true.
You
Because
think
guess
about
what? Now you have lied about a Christmas party that you know damn well I'm going to come back and be like, hey, how was your Christmas party the other night? And now you got to make up another fabrication because you didn't go to a Christmas party. Just like let that sit in for a minute. How many times have you made an excuse that wasn't true? I venture to say we have all done that at some
I
point
would
in our lives.
I would venture as well. And that one of the questions comes up that says, take a look at the interactions, the circle, the if you are seeing that that is some of the behavior that you've adopted, then the question is, are you doing that for somebody else? Or are you doing it for you? What is the motivation to be in relationships with people that you have to explain away and make excuses for things that might be contrary to something they were expecting? I mean, it just, if we don't have at least enough respect for each other to just be able to say the truth with kindness and respect, if we don't have that, then what are we doing?
But think about why we're saying all the words. We think it's to prevent judgment. We think it's to protect ourselves. We think we are being respectful. This is what
By
we
lying.
think. Versus, I don't need to explain all of this. The answer is no. That is kind. That is respectful. And the more, again, I'm going to go back to the statement I made earlier. The more words you use, you're taking away your own authority. You're taking away your own power. That is not respecting anyone, let alone yourself. So I think it's funny, very ironic that the mere thing that we're executing on is something that we're doing to protect ourselves from judgment. You're going to be judged because you're using so many damn words that nobody wants to hear. You're making excuses that may or may not be true and accurate. Like, think about the thing that you want and the thing that you're doing. How is that getting you no judgment, no reactions, no hurt feelings? It's not. Just say no. Here's a journal prompt that's going through my brain because, we got to journal sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
When was the last time you defended your no to someone who didn't deserve the reason? You're doing it for yourself. You're not doing it for other people. Stop defending your nose. I mean, not your nose, the one you smell through, but your N-O.
Oh, gosh. Well, with that,
On that note,
I'm Carla Lewis.
just remember that your clarity does not need commentary. With that, I'm DocShellie. We will see you next time. Thanks for tuning in today. For the chronic over-explainers, you know who you are. Try this on for size. State whatever it is you need to state. If there's a boundary or action required, state that. And then stop talking. The more words you use, you're taking away your own authority. You're taking away your own power. That is not respecting anyone, let alone yourself.